And we're back for another episode of Speaking with Gravity. I am Kervin, one of your co-hosts.
I'm Dee.
And I'm Taisha.
And on this podcast, we talk about mental health and how everything affects everything. As one of your hosts, I am a son, a brother, a husband, and somebody's daddy who happens to be a therapist. When you sit with a therapist, the conversation is different. And with every episode that we do, the goal is for us to make you feel, make you do what's best for you, and make you think about what it is that we're talking about. I'm a therapist, but this isn't therapy. It's a podcast. And we got a disclaimer.
While we serve as mental health professionals, the information and content being discussed during our podcast is not intended to be utilized or substituted as therapy or to represent the African American culture in its entirety. The purpose of this broadcasting is to share personal perspectives through open dialogue about various content based on our personal, educational, and professional experiences as hosts and guests on our platform.
And as usual, we always get together as co-hosts and try to figure out, where we're going to come from episode to episode. And we started talking about pioneers within the community. Pioneers within the community. And the barbershop came up. Barbers in a barbershop. And a fun fact that we came across was, I think I'm going to mess his name up, but Alonzo Herndon. Is that how I said?
Yeah,
okay,
right.
Alonzo Herndon. In the early 20th century, started a barbershop in Atlanta and became one of the wealthiest men in that area at that time. I think it was like 100 rental places that he had. But all that came from him starting a barbershop. With that being said, the barbershop itself is still very influential, very important in our community. As I was discussing with my co-host earlier, it's like the first safe space where you can come and just kind of say what you're going to say, however you feel. And, people going to dialogue about it. They may agree, may disagree. And again, we talked about this, but once you leave those doors, it's over. It's done with. And it's something that we can kind of go home and think about from there. And especially for me, just interacting with different barbers and just learning their styles and just them making me think from the conversations that we had. But with that being said, from you guys' perspective, I'm sorry. I should have introduced you first before I said from you guys. We got a special guest here, all barbers here in this community. We got Nafi, we got Jerry, and we got Greg. That being said, from your perspective, what does the barbershop mean in the community today?
Well, you said it's a safe haven. That's what that's how I feel, and I'm totally agreeing with what you're saying. Go ahead.
From my perspective, it's really it's unlimited when it comes to everything that the barbershop brings to the black community. But first and foremost, entrepreneurship plus employment. To me, I feel like you got, even with brothers with no education, you can make a good living off of barbering. You can become a business owner very easily as long as you're dedicated.
There was no formal education.
Right.
Yeah. Because you're educated.
It only takes a ninth grade education to even get a barber license. So, especially back in the early 1900s, late 1800s, a lot of black people couldn't even read and write. So they became very wealthy off this.
Is that still a part of it? You got to have like a ninth grade
education.
Oh, so that's one of the prerequisites or something like that?
A GED.
You at least gotta have a GED now.
You got to have a GED then.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
All right.
You gotta have some kind of.
From your perspective,
since all this happened, they've changed a lot of stuff. You know what I'm saying? They're trying to, I guess they're trying to up the level. You know what I'm saying? Of professionalism.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of folk were going down there and not passing the test.
But it's still professional now.
Yeah, it's
if we sound like we downplaying barbering, but yeah.
I'm not trying to downplay it.
No.
I'm
just saying,
professional. It's just making
people
it
get
more
the wrong,
professional.
Yeah, we don't want to have the wrong perception of what a barber is.
So
Like
what?
the man just said, My man just said, the barber
Yeah.
created 100 rentals.
100 rentals.
Yeah.
So from your perspective, what do barbers mean to the community now in today's time?
Well, basically the same thing. We are entrepreneurship, and we do inspire a lot of people
Yeah.
because of the conversation we do have in here.
Yeah.
And I guess we come at it from a deeper perspective because of all the people we experience or we come in contact with, and it gives us a deeper. We can go in our bag of tricks and get a little bit more out of it.
Yeah, we're therapists.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there you go.
I don't know about all that.
Part of the training is listening.
That's
Okay.
yeah.
How do
It
you
is.
think you became a therapist? All those years listening to me cutting your hair back in the
To
day?
some degree. I watch you listen to me, so then I learn how to listen. Okay.
Yeah.
One thing about barbers too, we come from all walks of life. See, my story is different from theirs.
Right.
I've been cutting hair since I was 12 years old, right? But I chose another route in life. I've been to prison twice for selling drugs, but I've always known how to cut. So it's like, not to saying it was the last resort for me, but it saved my life. When I went to prison the second time, I got 8 years. I had just got my barber license right before I got arrested. So it's like, coming back home, I could say, I'm not going back doing that no more. I did something that could change my life. So we all got different
Right.
walks of
So
life.
that was something I was going to say too. It gives you a second chance.
It's
Like
beneficial
Yeah.
from all walks of
yeah,
life.
yeah.
Also, the barbershop is a grassroots. Yeah, it's grassroots. Barbershop and beauty salons are somewhat like the grassroots. I've also heard it referred to as the black man's country club.
Right.
That's
Right.
it.
When you come in the barbershop and the beauty salon, all topics are on the table.
Right. We get everybody's issue.
All topics on the table.
We get everything for real. Seriously.
If you think about
Personal
like,
stuff, yeah.
like what how I gave my story, and I think about a young man fresh out of high school going to college. He ain't got to work at Burger King or McDonald's. He make good money, so it's beneficial for all of us in different ways.
It's more than just standing behind and just cutting hair. I mean, if you look at what my man did, a lot of us can do that today, just coming together.
We do it.
I mean, you can take his example from starting this one business that'll give you catalyst over into another business. You know what I'm saying? And more than one stream of income coming in. You see, that's entrepreneurship right there.
That's basically what it did for me. I was barber, then DJ. Now I got my own venue, so it's like this did that. You know what I'm saying? Wasn't no shortcuts, no illegal stuff. This did that.
Do
Like
y'all
I-
still consider yourself, I said pioneers earlier. Y'all consider yourself pioneers?
Oh, of course.
I think
Individually?
it's a continuation.
And just, I mean, they definitely pioneers. I grew up watching them cut, so.
I appreciate it.
And then look at me now, so it's like, it give you that older brother to look up to, and then younger ones coming behind me, you know what I'm saying? So it's almost a fraternity.
Right.
It is. Can be.
Yeah.
I mean,
I just wish we can get more unity, man. Because
Unity among barbers?
barber unity. I mean,
I wanted
unity.
to start a Black Barbers Association of Greenwood, but like you said, a unity.
Right. If we can get more unity, then because that's another issue in the black community. If we can get more unity, then we'll be able to grow more. Because most of the barbers here in Greenwood, we rent places from white people. So I mean, we got a few barbers that owns their own barbershop, but
Few.
for the most part, we all renters. So I mean, that's another issue in the black community. That's another
All
problem.
it takes is unity
Oh.
to come together and buy shares and
Right. Just buy something huge. I mean, buy
Right.
something huge to where if I ain't feeling his energy or he's not feeling my energy, we still can be in the same place, but just have our own space. So I mean,
And it'll be all profit once
right?
it pays.
It'll be all profit,
Yep.
and then we can pass it on. We can leave something.
See what you talking about now.
With another conversation.
Now see what we talking about now. You jammer.
Right.
You jammer. When you go to what is it, Kwanzaa? One of the pillars of Kwanzaa is you jammer.
Right.
You get one place and turn it into many things.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Just like that. What's that place down there you talking about them Africans?
At old National Discount Mall.
Look how many places are in there.
Oh yeah.
And all of those are paying rent for that section that they're using, and they're paying for that building.
Right. Paying for themselves.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
We could do that with businesses.
Right.
We ain't necessarily got to love each other.
Right.
But can we get along? Like Rodney said,
everybody
can we
does
just
it,
get along?
except us. Everybody does it.
Right. We watch other people
Yeah.
move to America and do it.
I mean, then we patronize them.
Yep.
Like
We
the
patronize
Mexicans.
them. So I mean, that's the main issue.
I can go back to what Greg was saying earlier. You know, we gotta deal with the side effects of slavery so we can move on. We gotta understand that we do have a problem.
Right.
And firstly, we gotta admit it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We do have a problem when it comes to trust and loving each other. So,
Right.
Not necessarily saying that harp on slavery, but deal with it
Right.
so I can move on.
Let them
You
know.
see what I'm saying?
Let them know that that's the root of our issue.
You're gonna forever
Slavery-
be running
slavery
into
is
a
the
wall.
root. And people say we use slavery for an excuse.
Right.
Nah, but that's the root.
we need to start using it well when we do bump heads and we snap out of it, we realize what it is. You know, why we bumping heads.
Right.
Come back,
Right.
snap back to
Yeah.
you know.
Snap back, man. Snap back, not
So
snap
how
back
y'all?
like they.
You said
What is
trust, right?
Right.
We got issues with trust. That's it. That's the only issues we got.
Oh,
Just
Trust is trust, but trust is the ultimate
I
issue.
think that's what
That's a
stops
foundation.
the unity. That's what hurts the unity
Yeah.
part. I think that's the most major part of our community unifying.
how you address that.
It ain't. It's not
gonna
just.
be perfect.
Y'all address it here in the barbershop.
It's not. It's not just one.
Can we?
It ain't. It's just not one facet, man. It's so
Maybe.
many.
Maybe through conversation.
It's
Yes,
so.
we can.
Yeah,
That-
through
that
conversation
go
and
back to
directly say,
saying
"Hey, man,"
we
he
dealing
said,
with the slavery. We gotta recognize what our problem is.
Right. I gotta let
and
you know
catch
you
it
have
right
an issue.
then. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
You gotta know that you have an issue. 'Cause if you
I can honestly say, in this profession, well, from my experience in the barber profession, we got it a lot easier than any other profession in the black community. I think what the trust thing
Trust
with
part.
business, but the hating on each other, barbers don't do that like everybody else do. Like you may have people with different clubs or restaurants competing with each other. I think it's enough for us to eat in this city. We be tired. We don't even care about trying to take nobody in business.
We will. I'm
We
close.
get plenty of business, so I think that helps us.
You know,
That helps the barbers where we don't be nitpicking and competing with each other
Right.
because we all eat good, you know.
So I'm hearing you guys explore kind of the idea of what the barbershop represents as it entails from your own perspectives. So, of course, you guys are mainly serving the actual male community for the majority part.
Not really.
I mean, I know you got some female
for the
clients
most
too, but for the most part, your
For the most part.
clientele
For the most
is
part.
going to be males.
Right.
So, what do you think the relationship or the impact that you guys service from your seats and from what you guys do to the male community? What does that do for the man? I know for me in experience, I know what it's like for me to go to a salon and what that makes me feel like. I mean, if my hair right, I'm good, regardless of what I had. But it wasn't until I had a son that I understood the power of a haircut and what that actually did to his appearance and what that made him look like. It's almost like he a new creation when he gets that. So it's a masterpiece in your craft. What does that?
I mean, I'm sure it helps your self-esteem. You know, you look better, you groom, you feel better about yourself. But for the most part, I think it's more than a haircut when you're a certain barber with a certain character. You know what I'm saying? So especially here, like in areas like this. Now, when you go into cities, they just mass producing. They just
in and out,
in and out. They cutting your hair and gone. But here, we kind of nurturers, especially the young men. We nurture them. We want to make sure that they grow up and be a better us.
It's
Like
an
certain
experience.
things, huh?
It's an experience.
Right.
Yeah,
Exactly.
like you come in here, certain things, like in here, you ain't gonna say that.
Right.
Certain things in here, you
You
see
gonna
the
respect your
mother, the
parent,
mother
right,
say
exactly.
something to the child. Hey, look at here, homeboy.
Right.
She better not say that to you again.
Right. Exactly.
Okay.
So we kind
You
of,
know what I'm saying?
yeah, we kind of got
See, I
made
just,
that old school. We in between the old school and the new school. So I guess we I know Greg and I and Nafi, we kind of like bridge the gap between the old school barbers and the new school barbers. We the in between. We're a nice medium. Yeah.
see, I just started here. I've been here maybe 2 weeks, but you know, and these brothers, like we pretty much got the same mind frame. Like they're teachers. You know what I'm saying? Like all the shops I've had, I got stuff hanging that kids can come in and ask questions about. Like, you know, I have newspaper clippings of the community service we do and make some of the things I've done, and I have pictures of our elders, black leaders on the wall, and even small kids come in, they're gonna ask who is that. Some of them I already know from
Right.
Black History Month or whatever. But I feel like the vibe that these two guys have, like I've been knowing them forever, so I know what their mind frame is. So they're teachers. Like the conversations that the younger brothers and sisters gonna hear around us, especially, is different. Even most of the other barbers that ain't on a conscious level, you're gonna get jokes, laugh, and a good vibration anyway.
Right, exactly.
Even if you're not learning no knowledge, it's a happy place.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. It's all about that happy place. It's all about,
Is that intentional?
it's all about them
I think
vibrations.
it's just natural.
It's just natural.
come natural.
You ain't even trying. It just flow.
Most barbers are comedians without even trying. It's gonna keep you laughing.
Exactly. Exactly.
I think it's a community vibration. It's just a vibration you get from being in the barbershop. You're gonna talk about the latest, what's on the news. You're gonna see how everybody feel about certain issues that's going on. It's almost therapeutic. Just come to the barbershop.
Right.
When you say
It's therapeutic for the barber as well. That helps your day go by, man. It helps your day flow.
Oh yeah.
when you say y'all gonna talk about the news, all right, do y'all talk about all types of news, even
Oh,
the
yeah.
bad news?
Oh,
so
yeah.
if there's a shooting in the community,
Oh
you
yeah.
talk about that too.
Yeah, we try not to talk about it like from a gossip perspective.
Yeah.
You know, we try to talk about it for a solution. Like, man,
A thinking
yeah,
situation.
man, I mean, I wonder why. What happened? Back once again, it still stems back to slavery because that self-hate. When I see something brown and beautiful, I see it brown or black and evil. I don't see that. I don't see that greatness in it because it's always downplayed. It's always on the news. It's always on the front of the newspaper. It's always
Always on the front.
always even the dictionary, man. It says we're evil, we're dark. I mean, it's representation of us. It's black.
Martin Luther King spoke on that.
Yeah. So, hey, they got devil food cake, which is brown. Angel food cake is white, man. All that subliminal stuff, man.
Black ball.
Yeah, all kind of stuff, man. So yeah, those are the things we have to deal with on a daily basis. But my question is, why?
Why?
Talking about
Why are you? What is it about me? What is it about me that you keep a bullseye on me? You trying to? You
But
always.
somebody got to be at the bottom of the totem pole,
No.
right?
But I'm saying
It's
why?
our strength.
From what perspective?
Right.
Somebody's always got to be at the bottom.
Really?
But the bottom ain't bad. The bottom can be a foundation. But see, you trying to tear you always trying to tear me down. I don't understand why.
Let me
that's
be the
question.
foundation.
Yeah.
Don't make me the foundation.
Right. Exactly.
Anything you get involved in, you got to start at the bottom, whether it's a fraternity or a corporation or
Right,
whatever.
right,
that
right.
would make you stronger. But
Right.
I think he's saying why,
Why we targeted?
and I know we know the answer to that is
Right.
okay. If you look at sports or all the great inventors, you know we got a little something extra, and it's undeniable that we have a little something extra that most people don't. And there's some exception to the rule in other races, but we got to stop looking at the athleticism and all that. We powerful people.
Mm-hmm.
If we wasn't so powerful, they wouldn't have used us to do the builders country. So
Right.
If we
We
weren't so
powerful people.
powerful, they wouldn't spend so much money on trying to keep us
Trying to
down.
keep us
either.
down, exactly.
So how do you guys feel being a black male in this community? What does that, or just in America, what does that look like for you guys?
I try not to cry about that because I feel like I said, we some powerful people. I look at the blood of my ancestors and I know where our strength come from. And just, America ain't stopping us. We stopping us. America can't stop us. They got to keep us where we at. And the only thing they doing is just feeding us stuff through the media, rap music or whatnot. They'll put the poison out there, but we picking it up. You know? We can't blame America no more. It's us. It's our mind frame. So we have to kind of build each other up. You know?
I didn't hear the question.
What does it feel like to be a black man in America right now, especially in your business where you guys have kind of spoke on what it looks like on the day you talked about kind of, it's a lot, to carry in because you're being this safe haven for everyone else that's coming into your chair. And you don't really know what the problems that are going to present to you when somebody sits in your chair. It's unintentional sometimes, but you guys have made it artistic in a way. So what is it like for you in your spacing to be a black man in America, toting not only your personal problems, but the problems that are dropped at your front door?
Yeah, it's like what he said. It's no more excuses, but the excuse is not knowing. You know what I'm saying?
Ignorance.
Right. That's what I'm saying. When you don't realize it, then you're gonna continue doing what you're doing. See, like we were talking about slavery. Slaves back in the day, they wasn't slaves. They were enslaved. You know what I'm saying? They were forced. Now, when these females degrading themselves and the men treating them any kind of way, that's slavery. You know what I'm saying? That's you voluntarily doing this. You know what I'm saying?
See, voluntarily, you made a decision.
You made a decision, yeah.
Just like you made a decision to say that this is their world, you can make a decision to say I'm gonna make my own determination. Right. I'm gonna decide where I want to go.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And not. I think too. We have to not be a victim. We have to make a decision to not be a victim.
Looking at ourselves like
Right.
Because I had a dream one time, right? And in this dream, I was a detective. I was going around getting all our ancestor stuff together. You know what I'm saying? And I had found a sarcophagus, and I was on their tail, boy. You know what I'm saying? I was right there. As soon as I got there, they destroyed it. Man, I was so distraught. I was just sad. And our ancestors rose up out and said, "Hey, listen, this is as far as we could go on our knowledge. Use it and go forward." I've never forgotten that dream, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, what they did back then was good. That's in us. That's in our blood, which means we can build on it. We can make a decision to build on that. Slavery happened. It interrupted our growth. It interrupted us as being the people. You understand what I'm saying? And we having to rebuild and we having to come back. You understand what I'm saying? Now is the time we have to make that decision to go forward.
I think to truly answer your question about when you said about how we deal with the people mindset coming in, I think us coming from different backgrounds help a lot with that. Like I can see a young brother come in who was me at his age, and so can they. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like we're the best people to cater to the other young black men because we know where we are, where we could have been. You know? So I feel like you said, like the mental health issues. A lot of mental health ain't just people ain't crazy. It's just stuff they go. Some people suicidal. Some people want to die, but they scared to do it themselves. You know, so and it's a lot. Not even just that. It's just the mind state or I've been through different stages in my life and different mindsets too, so I can recognize it sometimes if a young brother come in. You know,
right. So you sense it, right? Yeah.
So speaking of mental health. This is a question for each of you. What does mental health mean to you as it relates to the black community?
that go back to, like I say, it's funny because I just had a conversation with one of my brothers when we was talking about mental health. Like I said, some people be on the verge of giving up to the point where people think they crazy, they just love starting stuff. Like, we quick to be like, oh, he crazy, but some people just tired of living and they don't know how to handle it. But being in prison, I was on a level 3 prison yard, and I met maybe 4 or 5 people that was going through this. And I seen the person, I kind of judged myself and knew what they were going through. Because it's like, they tired of it, they want to leave here, but they're afraid to kill themselves, so they go around and taunt other people to do it for them.
Like
and that's a real serious issue. I feel like the majority of the people that's doing all the shooting and stuff in our community, that's their problem. They want to die. They on the verge of being suicidal. Like the older people be like, they just don't care about living no more. They don't. Cause they really suicidal.
But what took them to that? What you think took them?
I think I don't want to say weakness, but I feel like our minds, we have to work out our minds just like we do our body. And the only thing gonna do that is trials and tribulations, like actually standing tall and being strong and welcoming the next problem. Some people feel like some people so small they can't handle. They can't handle.
Man don't supposed to cry.
You know what I'm saying?
Man don't cry.
Okay, now you
kill himself.
Y'all don't mind me asking a question. You spoke on. I know I've never been to prison. G never been to prison, but okay. Some people go to prison and they feel like it's a rite of passage. Like you know what I'm saying?
Ain't no place for nobody.
Yeah, but let's look at how our community. Let's look at how our community
That's
does
how they
that.
look at it.
When one of us go to jail and come back, what we do?
Throw a party.
We throw a party for them. So they feel like,
Somebody go to
okay,
college,
it's all right.
Right. So you got to go to college.
Somebody get a degree, they don't celebrate.
Right. Exactly. So
That's their mentality, though. That's
So-
what I mean.
so by the men being incarcerated, so those men are fathers to someone.
Right.
So
You leaving your children behind.
So are these children that doesn't care right now, or shooting, or suicide, or whatever they may be, mentally ill? Are they the children of
Product of that?
Yeah,
Oh,
the product
exactly.
of
9 times out of 10, they
missing fathers?
9 times out
A
of 10.
contributing
they are.
factor, I believe. Yeah.
Right.
But then too, I come from a generation where at least 50% of my friends and classmates, I come through the crack era. So, I mean,
Right.
I've had friends, cousins, aunties, uncles on crack real bad. I mean, they not good parents. So it's like people come from that. People come from parents being incarcerated. People had to raise themselves. I love to see people like that succeed, grow, get older and succeed.
Right.
Then again, you got people who were spoiled. They out here worse than anybody else. So I really like, when it comes to blaming the parent, it got a lot to do with it. But I think, like I said, we got to train our mental for any situation in life. Because you could have had it all and you made the wrong decision.
I'm gonna ask you a question, Greg.
Now, where is our resources for that?
Resources for mental health.
Mm-hmm. Where is the resources for us to help?
Drugs.
Because a lot of times, how many of us can really identify what mental problems are? And then
That's
if we
so
do,
many
and if we can, where is the help? Where's the resources for
Within
that?
yourself, you can, but it's been downplayed, like he was saying earlier. Man, that dude crazy, and nobody wants that label.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's why people just deal with themselves, and you like, man, Jared was a cool dude, man. I had no idea. He drove off the lake in Greenwood and killed himself. Had no idea. Because those are things he's dealing with inside himself. So
And I think it kind of goes back to what you guys mentioned kind of earlier when you said the idea that the black man has to be strong. So the idea of if you're carrying everything to identify with a mental illness, or to, like he said earlier too, mentioning the idea of weakness. So when you're talking about these negative connotations, how do you deal with it? How do you recognize that and pull that back in to really be able to say, vulnerable to say, I need that help? Or like you said, somebody going and driving themselves off the cliff, who's going to recognize that as a need or a cry for help until it's already happened?
I think that a lot of that comes. I'm gonna be honest. The most tragic part about that, I think the only remedy for us catching people in that state is being a community, because they got this African word called Ubuntu. People used to take somebody who done did something wrong, or they going on the wrong path, and put them in the middle of the village, and we sit them in a circle, and we just spit nothing but positive things about them.
Uplifting.
You know what I'm saying? We got to have a sense of that in our community, because that's basically what make people feel. That empowers people. We don't have enough of that. Like you said, we'll just throw it off. Oh, he crazy, or we'll sit here and watch people self-destruct instead of really becoming a village. You know?
Right.
And we so separated by everything. Man, we separated if it ain't by religion, it's by size of town or whatever. But we have to be. I think the only way to fix it is to become a village. Like you said, you a therapist. You got resources you can bring to the community just by talking to a brother, you know? But it's just like all of us do. But we have to, like, love conquers all. We got to come together as a community, as a village. And that's the only remedy, I think, for that, though. Because we can talk about what...
You got a question for Nafi, don't you?
It's just that thin line that you were speaking of earlier. Like, we continue to play the victim. We continue being victims. Okay, but the thin line, I mean, how is it that crack era, how is it that those people chose to smoke crack?
Right.
I mean, where did that come from? I mean, how is it that...
I think it...
So,
I mean, we all have choices.
We seeing it now, too.
I think me and him about the same age, so I came up through the crack era too.
Yeah.
I mean, ultimately, it boils down. I think y'all probably heard this before. Life is about choices. It just really boils down to that. So a parent could have made a bad choice that affected.
Now you got two people here that we was kind of alive before that crack era hit.
Okay.
And we saw things
We
how
saw
it
it
was.
unfold.
And then we saw how it just zoom, how it just went down, man.
exactly, because
You know what
Look
I'm
like
saying?
snowball. Now you got a fentanyl.
Right.
Yeah.
right, it's always a continuation of something. So I remember New Jack City came out, and I saw New Jack City. I saw a dude who sold drugs. He made plenty of money. He did his thing. He came up, but he died. You know what I'm saying? And he destroyed people. That's what I saw.
His brother too.
Some
didn't he?
people look up.
Yeah, but some
Yeah.
people saw that. The next person saw that, and they saw, oh man.
The lifestyle.
I remember a kid working. I remember a kid working at Hardee's in Elberton, Georgia. He worked at Hardee's. He said, "Man, I'm saving up my checks, and I'm going to Atlanta, and I'm buying me some crack." And I'm serious. 3-4 months, he was up. He just started making money.
But
Quit
he-
Hardee's.
He made that choice, right?
Right,
But
but-
he made that choice off of his perspective, off of how he saw it. You saw that movie
Right.
and you saw that from the beginning to the end, whereas he only saw the fame, the glory,
So,
the money.
Again, the upbringing.
Right. So is there such thing as better choices?
Yeah.
I mean, because see, this kid got a choice. I mean, you know, like when y'all came up, this kid mom is on crack. His dad is in prison. He missing. So the food stamps, she bring them to the barbershop. We buy them because we, you know what I'm saying, we struggling too. So we gonna get the 100 for the 50. You know what I'm saying? So they food missing. So now you got a couple of siblings. Got a little sister right here.
Everything affects everything.
So what is he?
I love them. So if I go out here and I ask for help,
Right,
these folks who call themselves coming to help,
Right.
you're going to tear my family up.
right,
But that goes back
See,
to
now there's
becoming
more
a village,
scripts.
too.
right.
That's like with the Panthers.
So we have
Like we just watched Judas and the Black Messiah, like with the Panthers breakfast programs, after school program. They made sure they took care of the children of these people who self-destruct. You know,
Right.
That goes back to us becoming a village, man,
Right.
and building stuff for our community,
Right.
for the people that fall off.
Right. That's what it's about, though. That's the only way we're gonna be able to do it.
And folks bought into that breakfast program because they told them what that does. Okay, if if they bought into that breakfast program because they told them, hey, look here, if your child has a good meal before they go to school, they have a better chance of learning.
And then they had an after school program to actually teach them things that the school wasn't teaching them
Right.
when they get out of school. So.
Right.
And to be honest with you, man, now if you look back on it, they're not capable of teaching our children.
I think if we
because
just-
they're not looking at it, they're not seeing it from our point of view,
They're not-
our perspective.
They don't want to benefit us though, because I guarantee you, a lot of people who grew up in this area, like our parents, they grew up here. I guarantee you, when that mill was open,
Yeah.
they were designed to graduate high school to work in that mill. They needed workers, so they weren't going to allow you to be educated so you can go off and become a doctor or a lawyer or somebody with some significance. You're going to be a plant worker. So that's why so many plants around here. So that's why the people around here got that mindset.
And I
Yeah,
think when
nobody wants an entrepreneur's mindset.
Right,
Everybody
exactly.
that's what they tell you. Get a job, get a job, get a job.
Mm-hmm.
That's like you can start a business and put it on Facebook. I just started a business today.
Right.
But put on there that you got a job at the packing plant.
Right.
Congratulations. They want to see you work.
Right,
You
exactly.
know?
So and that's another thing the barbers deal with. That's all you do? You got no real job?
Yeah, and that's all you do. You're a barber, but we make more money than them probably. You know, tax free.
You see what I'm saying? You need somebody to handle your money. See, you stay
You can't think for
independent.
yourself.
You're not dependent. You know what I'm saying? Not knocking anybody who works for someone else. Now, I'm not knocking it, but I'm just saying you don't think for yourself.
It's a way to be an entrepreneur. It's a way for you to not have to ask for vacation days off and all that, but
Right.
it's looked down upon.
Right,
But this is one of the.
You control your own schedule.
right.
It's one of. I ain't gonna say easy because it's not easy, but it's one of the fastest ways to become your own boss. Even if you don't own the shop, you still your own boss.
Right.
That's your
But to be honest with you, all you're doing is renting the spot.
Right.
That's your business.
Right.
That's
You
right.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So yeah.
But I think, man, when it comes to the issues we was talking about, even with the all these issues, the black economics, the mental health, or whatever, I think where we dropped the ball at, me being the chairman of an organization, I see what our problem is. I don't have the manpower to fix it.
What you see?
I see that we don't take, our generation, we're not looking at Dr. Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Marcus Garvey. We're not looking at the Black Panther Party, all these people that we read about and we study and idolize. We're not picking up where they left off at
Do you think it's because we don't feel like we could become them?
because we not being a village. We got,
The village party.
it's
right.
not being even
But
them. They taught us the way we learn from them, but this mission still goes. The marathons continue. We have to pick up where they left off.
It's about
They
money.
passed the baton to us. It's our turn to run.
It's about money.
It's about money.
What you mean about money?
See, we can talk conscious all day, man. To young
So
men.
it's time to
youth.
spend money on
we
these.
talk conscious, but when the young man seeing
Resources,
a dude with the scat pack, you know what I'm saying? He got all the jewels and the riches. He want to be like that. That's his new hero, not Dr. King, not Malcolm, not Marcus. You know
Too
what I'm
long.
saying?
Too slow.
Yeah.
But I
They-
ain't gonna lie,
It's not
bro.
fast.
I ain't gonna lie. I'm at a place in my life now. Even though I had more money selling drugs, I got more equity and more things to make
Right.
money off of now. So I feel better. So I feel like I just want young brothers to have what I got now.
Yeah, because
Feeling
you-
that I have now.
You've grown mentally though. You've grown.
But even like with my finance, okay, anybody who has sold drugs, it's like, okay, if I just say I had $20,000 to my name, I spend 15 reeing up to buy more drugs to sell. Well, now I invest 15 of it.
Right.
And,
That's what,
you know what I'm saying? And I
Right.
feel better. So I think if young brothers actually felt that, they would put the other life behind.
yeah, but that's what I'm saying. It's like Greg said, it takes too long. It's a process.
Yeah.
Right.
You
They
know,
want it fast.
They don't want
They
the
want
see,
fast.
They want
Right
that
now.
microwave. You want your stuff warmed up. I put my stuff
Don't
in the
nothing
oven.
good
You know
happen
what
like that.
I'm saying? Right.
Nothing fast ain't coming.
Right.
I know
See, a
people
lot
get
of
in the
times,
street.
you can't. You can say that to them, but they don't see that point.
Let's see, you can have $100,000 today selling drugs, and some can have next week. You gone. I mean, most people who been, I'm 43. I'm saying we jumped off the porch maybe 16, 17. The friends that I grew up with now, I've seen people go up and down, jail and back home, broke with money. Like,
You gonna have to put that on vibrate.
so it's like,
You know, what's funny though is, you know, we were talking about the barbershop. This is really kind of the feel because you gotta jump in where you can.
Yeah.
You gotta
And I was just
you literally gotta jump in
yeah.
and say what you gonna say because you know it'll just keep going and going. And then
Because
go,
we're passionate about it.
yeah,
That's
Right.
It'll
We
go from
really,
subject to subject.
we really
And
want
we
to see
do
a
this
change.
every
that's
day.
an everyday thing in the shop. So
Yeah.
it's
I mean,
normal
we
for
can have 3 or 4 conversations going on at the same time, and we standing up here. I hear what you saying, bro, and we get over that conversation. Oh, I heard what you saying over there too, bro. You know what I'm saying?
And
So,
it really is an experience, you know, like you want to get into the barbershop, get in and get out. You want to get your haircut, get in and get out. But while you there, you going to talk. Or you going to hear what's being said. And you're going to find somewhere where you can jump in at, whether it be sports, women, or like some rap, music, something. You're going to jump in somewhere.
Like since you said that, we spoke on about all the negative attributes of the black community, but the positive things that for me personally, when I'm in Abbeville, I'm at a gas station, and a kid, I grew up now, he's a grown man now, he living in Atlanta, he's doing well. He come to me and he say, man, I remember you told me 10 years ago you said this and you said that, and it inspired me. That's the greatness of it. That's what I love. That's what I get. Yeah.
Cause we watch, like,
had
I'm
that
only
conversation
43.
with
I
you, too.
watch so many grow up. Like, it's almost like a mentorship being a barber, man. Because we watch people grow.
Right.
People come back home with families, a career, you know, and it's like, it's all you're an automatic mentor being a barber.
but I've had people come back and do that too. But I'm telling you, one I like the most is I used to, schools used to have this thing where you can come and help a kid for an hour, help them read or something like that, or with their math or whatever. Now I have done a couple of kids around here like that, and man, they go off to college and they come back and they tell you, hey man, thanks a lot for what you done, man. That time you spent with me was important, man. Thank you.
Right.
That's wham.
And you really don't forget those. Like Jerry, I met Jerry when I was 16, I think, 11th grade, and just started talking to him. I don't even know. I probably went to him because he was light skinned. I used to want to be light skinned.
That's probably what it was.
That's probably what it was.
That's another issue we have in the black community.
Nah, but yeah, he started cutting my hair way back then, man. We started talking and then went off to college and come back from college and come right back here, go right back to who I was going to in high school. And now I have a son. Of course, I've seen him have kids before me. Then I had kids after him, and it's a circle of
He
life.
got some great kids, man.
I appreciate
Yeah.
it, man. Thank you.
Great kids.
Circle of
I
life.
don't think he had anything to do with it.
All right,
No.
now, Ty, you got to jump in here. You got to jump in.
Honestly, I wanted to go back to the question because I feel like, Nafi, you answered it, but in regards to what does mental health mean to you as it relates to the black community? So when you engaging with your client who's sitting in that chair, and let's say it's one of the ones who you notice something may be off as we've described it, or you've seen this client who you've developed a relationship with, you've seen some changes in their mental stability. What do you even do? Like, how does? Yeah. So I think I just asked 2 questions with them.
You try to still make them feel normal.
Okay.
Yeah, you just
Man, that's
yeah.
dope. Yeah.
You gotta. I mean, you don't look at them. You don't be standoffish. You continue doing what you've been doing.
Okay.
And making them feel welcome, making them feel loved.
But
And
I
that's
think
a lot of the stuff they're missing.
I think too, if we have resources that we can send them to, And maybe if we could say in a way, hey, bro, I see you going through something. How about going on here talking to someone? So he might be able to help you out, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Have y'all ever had that before? Like resources, just know where to send?
I'm telling you, me and my man right here. We had one dude. I'm not gonna say his name, but something happened to him, and we could somewhat see it, but it kind of snowballed out of because he killed someone. You know what I'm saying? And he had the mind to call both of us and talk to both of us. You know what I'm saying? But you done what you done now, homeboy. Wish you had called me, or maybe he did, and we just didn't see it.
Yeah, we tried. We actually tried to reach out to him. We was trying.
Yeah.
Because we saw it happening. I mean, it was as vivid as we were sitting here. We saw it unfolding. But we had no idea it was going to unfold.
Like I said, it snowballed.
But you saw some signs
We
and some
saw
changes.
it.
Okay.
Yeah, we saw it. So
Did you guys have resources
Not that we know of.
Okay.
Not that it might have been here, but we didn't know it was here.
And how y'all process that?
Oh man, it
was hurtful.
It was painful, man. It was like, you know. But then it started happening so frequently. Get normal, it becomes normal. Like,
You kind of get numb to it.
So can we talk about being becoming desensitized to ongoing trauma and violence here in our community, where it's just like another one in a sense of like, dang, I knew this young man when he was 13 and 15, and then to hear he was involved in X, Y, and Z at 18, like, dang, man.
Yeah.
So like, what do you guys think you can offer when you notice some of your clients coming in who either they disclose, hey, something ain't right with me, or if you notice, like, I done seen this young man grow up from the time he was 17 to 25, and I seen a shift. What can you offer? What do you think you can offer to better assist that person while they sitting in your chair?
the only thing we can offer is the village you're talking about.
Me personally,
Okay.
I suffer with PTSD myself from certain life experiences. So, like, if I feel somebody going through something, it's like maybe like you know how the teacher might see somebody just ain't having a good day.
Right.
I think most barbers do it and not even realizing we give stuff away. You know, stuff that we selling or to. That's what make us pick certain people to give stuff to, because we can feel the energy. You know what I'm saying? So me personally, I ain't gonna say I have a hard time. Sometimes I do dealing with it, but with my own issues. So it's like I have to come at other people like I treat myself. You know, like it's all about the energy you walk up and bring people. You know, that you confront people with. Cause I don't even have to give you a gift. It's just the energy I approach you with. You know, if I can feel that you having a bad day or something ain't right. You know, but I think a lot of barbers do it without even thinking on it. We'll just give something away or say some kind words to them, or you know, make them try to feel laugh or anything. I think we just do it naturally.
Yeah, and
You know,
I also think that I'm gonna say bottom for the lack of a better word. Us as people, we need more exposure. We need to be exposed to things that's going to be beneficial for our mindset, like certain massages and your feet, and just grooming and taking care of yourself. There's all kind of therapy out here.
I'm gonna be honest, bro. Like
Certain fragrances, all that matters. It
I know
helps.
people say just pray, but people don't understand. We lack meditation practices.
Right.
Our voice is dead.
Meditation changed my life completely. You know what I'm saying? Like,
How
you
did you
sit.
learn about it?
To be honest, bro, I've been through Christianity, Islam. Put it like this: I've been through Christianity where I prayed. I've been through Islam where I made salat prayer. Then when I went to the Kemetic Science African spirituality, and started meditating, I learned that prayer and It's a lot, ain't nothing but a form of
That's all
meditation.
it is.
Meditation,
It's
that's all
just
it is.
something
That's
to
all.
make you
You talking to God.
separate yourself from the out interference and having that conversation with the Most High. We don't realize, and I think that's got a lot to do with it too. When a lot of religious people talk about God, they're not coming from the book. The book says God is a spirit that dwells within us. So it's like most people close their eyes and they dreaming of a white man in the sky, and that kind of takes us out of the meditation state. It breaks your concentration from meditation. Because if you look at God as an energy that fills you, then you know once you close your eyes and you realizing what you are and what this energy is and how it strengthens us. Because man, you can close your eyes, put yourself in a closet. Your mind gonna take you from where you was to where you at to where you trying to go naturally. And that's God speaking through that voice in our head. You know?
Right, because meditation is never quiet, though. You don't have to be quiet.
Right.
Because you're going to forever have noise going on in your head.
Right.
It's always going to be.
You gotta learn to listen to it.
Yeah, that's it.
You know how I could be talking to you and you be like, huh? You just meditated.
Right,
Your mind went off.
right.
Some people sit and try to concentrate on
Right,
how to
right.
meditate.
Set a
It's
certain
gonna come
way.
natural. Just like if we having a conversation and you ain't heard the last 2 sentences I said. Those are quick meditation. You was zoned out. The thing is, the key is remembering and learning how to manipulate what you was thinking and how to use it. It's almost like you have a dream and you wake up and don't remember what you were dreaming about, but you knew you had a dang on something important. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's practicing holstering it.
I think a lot of what it is too is how we were trained. See, we were trained in religion, not spirituality.
And then, you
Two
know, like
different
I
things.
said, the books, the Bible, Quran, all of it saying the same. I think people more like listen to the speaker, the preacher, more than they read and get their own understanding of what they read. And that what hurts us as a community. It hurts us personally. So then when we go out in the community, we don't have an understanding of ourselves. So how can we understand other people?
It can hurt us.
That's why.
Can hurt us.
That's why I'm being quiet, because I don't want y'all editing it.
No, I ain't gonna edit
You know what I'm
that.
saying? Yeah. I want you to
And
be
I
quiet.
get what you're saying, but it can, because if you got the right teacher, then it's legitimate, right? But you gotta have the right teacher. But you got so many teachers out here, so many preachers out here, so many people saying that I got this thing, whatever this thing is.
It ain't, I'm
and
not just
presenting it
picking
to the
on.
people.
I'm not just
So
pointing
I'm
out
with
Christian
you.
leaders
Yeah.
either. Now. It's just
But you got it, though. You got it. You were born with it.
Every individual,
Everybody.
Everybody.
you got to go study.
Right.
And
you're gonna have this certain
To show
relationship
thyself.
with God yourself.
Yeah.
Nobody can give you a relationship with God but you. So it's like I just
see
see a
that
lot
now,
of
again.
leaders, not even just Christians, they stray from getting us to connect with the spirit of God.
See, again, you're talking spirituality. We've been taught religion.
Right.
Like
I mean,
And when you look up the word religion means what you practice.
right.
You see what I'm saying?
I'm wondering how a baby come out of his mother's womb and know how to get on that nipple, and they never seen one.
babies can swim too.
You
Straight
know what
out.
I'm
I think
How
it
is
was
it?
when we instill that fear in them that they become
So
afraid of learning how
right.
to.
So we'll
Life,
take it
Your
off.
training.
Yep.
Right. We'll take them off and put the cow's milk in their mouth instead, and that's when you start really dumbing down. Because what you putting inside of your temple.
I did a live video one time. I was talking about how when we was young, we'd get on the roof of a house or a building and just do double back flips and everything off of it. Like, no problem, because we already got up there, we said what we were going to do, and we did it. So as we go through life and get knocked down so much, and other people tell you what you can and can't do,
Right.
you lose all that.
That's that condition.
start believing
Yeah.
other people.
But once we get something in our mind, if we just did it, we can do it. When we start thinking about it, that's what we mess up at. I feel like life is the same way.
That's where false teaching or
Spirituality
bad
is the same
teaching. That's where your bad teachers come from. That's why they're so dangerous in our community. What you taught people, what you train people to do.
If you
You
look
see,
at sport,
all teachers aren't bad intentionally though.
right.
You know what I'm saying? They just passing it down. They just, I mean, some of our parents
Yeah.
were
Been
bad
conditioned a
teachers.
certain way.
They didn't mean any harm. They were just protecting you because they taught to fear.
My mama used to
They
call me
can't teach us.
stupid and
They
dumb.
can't teach me how to be me. You can,
Right.
you can give me advice, but my path might not be yours. It may be something I'm supposed to do that
Right.
you wasn't supposed to do.
Right. It's that fear, though, man. Fear
So how
is
do we change that? How do we change that narrative?
I think we have to
change yourself.
encourage. I think we gotta actually recognize people's gifts,
What you say,
talents,
change?
and encourage those because people are different.
You said starting with self first.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
change yourself. That's the only way I could do it.
So
I
what
don't-
would you tell your younger self?
I don't try to reach out. Man, I don't even know who that is. I don't know that younger self. He gone.
What?
Yeah, man, I don't know.
How do we lose the disconnect with the younger self?
Because the younger self was so confused and so thrown off, such a slave,
I'm going to church.
Yeah.
We gotta be
Yeah.
reborn again.
A slave to what?
a slave to all the
the
conditioning
system and-
that I was trained to think. Like my man said, I was not knocking education, but he just said, a man with no education can become wealthy. So, I mean, is education really that important? Kanye West got $6 billion now. He quit
College
college.
dropout.
Yeah.
So yeah, give it
I
all.
tell anybody like the only way to truly know yourself is to break yourself all the way down and rebuild yourself.
You got to reprogram.
That's the only way you're gonna know
mind.
what you are.
Right.
Really, you
I
got.
don't know about that one.
But it's
I mean,
it's hard to do
if you have to, if you somebody who live in Rome, not everybody now, but if you somebody like I'm gonna say like
that
my
perspective.
experience,
from that perspective.
only way I truly knew myself was to destroy the old me, every aspect of him, and replace it with something positive. And that's when you truly look back at yourself and you realize how bad you were, how bad off you were, or what type of road you were. Some people 50, 60 don't even realize they destroying themselves.
Right. But that old self, I mean, I kept the good now. I kept the good part of the old self. The ability to think for myself. I kept that. But the rest of it, no. So that's right.
And we not perfect. Every day is different.
Right.
You gonna work. You have to work on yourself every day.
Right. Exactly.
Y'all had another question y'all want to jump in on? Okay. All right. This resources. All right. Y'all got me feeling some type of way. All right. And the reason
Yeah, me too, low key. I ain't gonna even
Because-
lie. You
Alright.
said no resources.
That
Well,
we
y'all
know
say-
of.
y'all don't have the resources. Y'all not aware of the resources.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
All right. So, yeah, therapist right here talking to you. Would y'all say y'all know the resources now, or would you want to know when you say resources? What are you saying? I don't know the people, or I don't know how to get the person that I feel need the help to the people.
Right,
Or
that's
what
what-
that process
see,
about? Like,
you-
what do you
all
mean when
of
you
that.
say
You
resources?
gotta
All of
right.
that.
You gotta know it. You gotta know there's something wrong with you. You have to. And be willing to accept help. I can lead you to it, but it's up to you to go out and travel through it. You gotta go down that path.
It's back to being a village, though.
Yeah.
You know, like when I said the resources, I was speaking from the perspective of community. Like, just say we all know what's wrong with our community. We have to get in the habit of coming together and pulling all our resources together for the good of the community. Like, especially being what I've been involved with in the past 6 years, I be tired of begging people to.
Well,
So
I'm
it's like-
speaking instead of like the community per se. I'm talking about that one individual in your chair that you see, as y'all have said already, you identified as they were this way today. Tomorrow they're a different way. You know, they were this way this last week. This week right here, man, something different about them, and you start seeing a change. You see the change, and they talk to you. Let's say we're gonna, for the benefit of this scenario, they talk to you. They're open to listen. How do you take that and say, okay, I know Curvin, he a therapist. Or have y'all ever thought about
You the only therapist I know.
Now,
So
I mean,
we need to put ourselves out there.
Yes.
Probably do. And then,
But
like
you-
you said,
but you
you
don't-
don't want to offend that person because you don't want them to think that, okay, this person think I'm crazy.
That's
Right.
what we got to get to normalizing those behaviors. So when something ain't right, I'm gonna speak up on it and let you know I ain't coming at you no different type of way. But my brother, I see something has shifted in the way you thinking, in the way you coming in here. Are you okay? And he may brush up. All right, cool. Well, I'm gonna do my due diligence and check on you even when you leave up out of my chair.
we
Meaning,
do that
I may
now.
call you like at 3:30. Hey, I noticed again something was going on. Are you all right? If not, we all go through our own troubles and tribulations, our own troubles or whatever the case may be. But there is professional help. And then from there, is up to you to just kind of walk away, and it's up to them to either be receptive to what you say and understand. Nah, he ain't coming at me that type of way. I know him. We got this relationship. I ain't no way he'll call me out and try to make me seem as if something wrong. He really concerned about me. Let me follow up. But that's an individual.
I think
But what
maybe
about the mentally ill therapists? I said, what about the mentally ill therapists? Because see, sometimes that joker take those conditions that he has
yeah.
and be judgmental with those conditions and be unaware of.
I can't say that there's nobody in the world that he won't encounter like that. I can't say that. But therapists refer before there's a transference. If they see that something in there, okay, I can't deal with this because this is similar to my situation or whatever, they refer out. Also, the fact that y'all actually know a therapist, then you would send them to the person, at least in the beginning, that you know, as opposed to, let me just put him in a system. Because there's a system and there's individual people. And if you know individual people, when somebody come and say, where I go get a haircut, I ain't gonna just say, oh man, there's 12 barbershops out here. I'm gonna send them to the people that I know, that I've been to. And that makes that connect different.
You ever thought about maybe training people just a little bit on that has to deal with people hands on like we do? Anybody in the business that has to deal with people on a personal level or up close and personal, I think it'd be a good idea if you actually taught some techniques, before sending them to you, because like you said, somebody who don't know how to deal with a mentally ill person, we may make them snap. You never know.
Right.
So I think it'd be a good thing for you to even teach little small techniques and teach us how to recognize certain things too. Anybody who has to deal with people up close and personal every day too, because it really is dangerous. It's really kind of dangerous, especially today.
Cause see, I'm mentally ill, but I don't feel I need a therapist. I feel like my stuff gonna work out through me. That's just me. I just feel.
I think when we're talking about mentally, I think it's good if we clarify mental health and mental illness. Everyone has mental health. So, of course, there are different things that are going to impact your mental health. When you get to a level of mental illness where you're needing support. So what you're saying is you have the coping strategies and the techniques. You did that self-reflection to get you to a spacing where you've created a safe net for yourself, and you also have a system here. Because what you guys have been saying is, I reach out to him, or I talk to him, or I use it. So you have an outlet that other people don't always have availability to. And so what we have to do is we do have to create this connection where we got resources here, we got the community over here, but they not meeting each other in the middle. And I think this is why this episode is so significant, because we can do another podcast in the office, but is it really going to get to a space of where we are right here? Is it really going to bridge that? Because what I'm hearing you guys say is, yeah, we know there's problems. We know that we've needed help, but where do we send them to? I can't tell somebody they got a problem and I don't have a solution. Right? Because what we've been saying is that's what's wrong with us now. Is that we've been told we got a problem, but how do we get to that?
Right.
And that's what he was saying about just talking. That's all we're gonna be doing is talking, and we don't have a solution.
Exactly. And so I love what you guys are saying, because it's so powerful in that presence of really showing why the barbershop is so important. Why it is the strength of who we are as people. Because you as a barber enabled him to be a therapist. You said it earlier, the conversations you had, you helped him to define his, but you really did give him a confidence that no other man could have created for him. And he knew it because he brings his charm back to you. So you know what I'm saying? He's seen what you instilled in him. He's seen what, and now I'm building this relationship with my son and his barber. You know what I'm saying? I don't take him there for no reason. It is a lot of other cheers in the community, but because that's where I first took him to, I seen how he interacted with my scene. I seen the laughter. I seen the jokiness. And when I'm in his spacing, I see what it creates for him. It's something that I myself as a female can't give to him. You know what I'm saying? And so the power in what you guys are saying in terms of, you know, just being that source for each other, I'm really concerned even more now. I'm looking at barbers in a different light because now I'm seeing you toting the mental health of so many people, but your own mental health is at risk. You know what I'm saying? You're dealing with your own problems, and that's what we as therapists have to deal with. And just like you said earlier, how do you go to a therapist who's mentally ill? Well, that's the same thing. How does somebody that's mentally ill come to a barber and pour out their heart to you when you going through a problem? When you got your own dilemma at home?
I think the barbershop is like I said, it's therapeutic. Cause it's
It
something about getting a haircut that make people tell you they business. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I mean, and they trust us with their business.
Right.
So, I mean, most people got a stigma on shops and salons. There's a lot of gossip and whatnot, but people actually trust us. Like, people tell me their deepest, darkest secrets.
You
And it's
spoke
good
of
conversation.
stigma.
And we give them a little something back, too. You know, it's like, it's a trust thing. So,
What you gonna say, sir?
When you spoke on stigma, that's the same with mental health. Trying to de-stigmatize the stigma around mental health and making the conversation comfortable. Just as if I'm able to come up in here and talk about sports, physical illness, talking about mental health and mental illness should be as comfortable as any other topic. So we got to make it so like how you guys say your own relationship with your clients and making the conversation around mental health and just even other emotional disturbances, you know, other problems that we may have going on, making that topic comfortable here in the shop.
Making mental health like therapeutic.
Right, you know what I'm saying? Then knowing, all right, yeah, the shop is therapeutic, but you really need a professional, somebody who really trained in how to tackle the root cause of your problems. Because right now you dropping surface level problems, but what's the root cause that's causing these reoccurring problems? And you talked about like having somebody come in and teach. They do have mental health aid training for free, but just hearing how you guys are sitting here saying like, really, what are the resources? I feel like, oh man, I got to do a better job at advertising. Hey, I'm here, you know, and these are additional community resources available for our people. So me being not only a social worker, but a change agent and coming here and saying, hey, we available, you know what I mean? And connecting and giving the resources to y'all.
Why is that?
Why
Why is
would?
what?
Why are y'all not available?
We are.
No. I'm saying why we don't know that you are.
I think again the stigma with mental health, ain't nobody talking about it. So like he said, if somebody come in here and we dismiss their craziness or we dismiss that Johnny over here crying because he really struggling with how to move from Atlanta to California, not really understanding the underlying issues with Johnny. Johnny really struggling with depression. Johnny really struggling with anxiety. Johnny really struggling with attachment issues. So it may seem to us that moving from Atlanta to Cali is easy, but for Johnny got some underlying issues that make that transition hard for him. Did that answer your question?
I think too, I need to be louder. I feel like I'm loud, but I think I need to be louder. I'll wear a shirt all day to say I'm a dope therapist. And if you open up that conversation, I'll speak on it. But maybe I need to start the conversation as opposed to waiting on everybody to open it. Or maybe I need to come to different shops and literally say, hey, man, I am here for this, to let you know that I'm here, like she was saying earlier. So, and then maybe tell y'all how to navigate, you know, the route of getting therapy and so on and so forth.
I think it comes back to the village.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean,
But I got to go to the village too. To let
it's
them know
like,
that.
I'm not saying like,
Can I say something?
like he said, how will we know? Are we doing it now? We commercing now. You know what I'm saying? We building now, so we know now. We got 3 resources here. But this is what I mean by becoming a village. We have to sit down and have these conversations as a village with more people, so we'll know all the resources that our community has, because everybody in this community is going to run across somebody and they can pop in their head, well, I know somebody for him. You know? So That's what I mean by the village. We have to have these conversations and get together as a community more, not just us, but the whole community. So we'll know what resources are available, not even just the therapy, but.
How many of y'all heard of Beckman Center? That's a free community mental health resources, but you know the stigma associated with them. Oh, that's for the crazy folk.
Right, that's what I'm saying. You, how are you guys gonna become cool? You know what I'm saying? See, people drop stuff on him and Greg and myself because they feel like, man, they cool, they comfortable, man. Them jokers, it's something about it. I like his big hat. I like his locks. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just saying, how is it that you become to where the community can just accept you and you feel like you cool? I could just drop this on you.
I think
Cool.
We all, and we're gonna come back to definitely get your question.
I think that's why we collaborated to do this podcast journey, because that's what it was intended to do. It was to create that community. And one of the reasons, again, going back to why this episode was important to us, is because we can't change a community if we don't become a part of it. So, you know what I'm saying? It's different in our everyday life, you know, what we exposed into and who we is. So I didn't know you three prior to this episode, but now I know who you are, and I'm never gonna forget your name. So when I see you, it's, hey, how you doing? And you may remember me, you probably will. But you know what I'm saying? We creating this community, so now if I see you, I know who you are. So we building that community, and I think one of the ways in which we have to deal with it is, for Black people, we always get intimidated by the word therapy. Therapy is nothing more than you having a deep intellectual conversation with somebody who really is there to support you. We have to stop seeing it as therapists being people who are trying to play mind games with us. And see, we've been conditioned to think that somebody trying to really truly understand us is somebody trying to take advantage of us. So when we stop seeing therapists as somebody who is trying to hinder us and somebody who is trying to build us up to create that village. Because one of the things we do as therapists is we want to point out your support system. We want to identify what your strengths are. We want to also identify what you're struggling with and alter alternative practices as to what you can do to build yourself up. You know what I'm saying? And so, again, I think it's part of a double fold. We can put ourselves out there, but we can't change how people get intimidated by that word. You know what I'm saying? Like the idea of saying, I go to a therapist. People don't want to say that. People, to this day, you know what I'm saying? It's hard, even when we ask people, you know, was therapy effective for you? I've been in the classroom with people and say, you know, have you ever been to a therapist? Nobody acknowledge you. But I get 5 emails later and say, yeah, I've been through therapy. It really helps. What's the difference? What's the difference?
I honestly think that, me personally, I've never seen 3 people look just like me. That's therapists. So I think our community wouldn't be as afraid to sit and talk with y'all as they would with somebody from the city, because most people think they're gonna put me on drugs, and you know what I'm saying. I feel like you guys have a better opportunity to connect with the people than, because we never had therapists in our community that we knew of like this. So I knew if I had, just say we grew up together and I knew you went to be a therapist and I know you knew my history because we went to school together, or you know my family. Cause like with Ty, I feel kind of comfortable. Our families are close. So it's like, I think people would reach out to you guys more than they would therapists from the city that the city or the court done sent them to.
Absolutely.
So I feel like you got a good chance of reaching out to the community. People will open up to y'all. I don't think it's a bigger obstacle as y'all may think.
I think based off of that.
Great talk.
No, but
Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, I'm not gonna do that. I'm practicing my listening skills. Go ahead.
I'm good.
Based off of what you were saying, I might need to be more in the community. Like I came through Saturday night at your venue just to be there. So, you know, now they can see my face, and then if given the opportunity, they can make the connection. Oh, that person that was there.
Trust.
that part, and that's
Building
what I
that
was.
rapport, that credibility, that trust.
That's how we make the connection with individuals when they walk in our door. We And I know we talked about being conditioned and trained, but the books can only teach you so much. It's really getting on that individual level with that individual. So even our therapeutic approaches are individualized because everybody is different. Granted, I may have 3 people who come in and may say I'm struggling with depressive symptoms. But my treatment for each one of them is going to be different because this is a different person that I'm dealing with. So mainly it's speaking that same language. Like you said, it even starts with maybe it's somebody who looked like me. That makes me feel a little more comfortable. And not to say that we can't go to somebody who doesn't look like us, but going to somebody who look like you makes a major difference. Even studies have shown it, you know. And again, I think it's just getting personable, relating to people, going where they are sometimes. So y'all spoke of community enrichment and building that community village. Again, just mind going into, all right, what can I do better? I need to get out here and be more active in the community. And not to say that I haven't, because even in my defense, I've put out the work. I think we all have put on platforms, hey, we're available. This resource is available. These free events are coming. But you know how many people come?
Right.
Not many, you know. But
So now you're bridging, though. You're bridging.
bridging the gap.
Speaking
Because
of that,
blackbirds fly together and
I do
red
have
birds fly
an
together.
event
But they-
monthly for guys, just for guys, just for actually for black males.
What did you say?
An event every month, monthly, and maybe 10. It's 26, 27,000 people in Greenwood, 23, somewhere up in there, and 10 people come. So when you say we put on events, people do put on events. Now maybe I'm not advertising in
You
the
got some
correct
free
manner.
liquor now?
Huh?
You got some free drinks?
Yeah, I feed. You come on down, I feed you.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm not advertising in the correct manner, or is it that I'm not advertising in the correct
Doing it now. Like I said, we becoming that community now, that village. I mean, nothing that gonna happen overnight.
Right,
Trust me, I've been an activist hard for like 6-7 years. So hey, we ain't even halfway where I want to be. People know us, know our organization, and then you make, just like we do Juneteenth events, black market events. People, it's gonna always be people. I didn't know y'all did that.
Yeah.
Man, we be in the paper every year, so it's like ain't nothing gonna come overnight, bro. But like you saying, you handling it now though. This podcast was a big step. Cause guess what? They gonna share it. I'm gonna share it. That's now all our friends and family gonna see it. And all the resources y'all were talking about, they gonna know about it. So we becoming that village right now. It just takes steps.
So y'all tell them how to get in contact with you guys.
My next thing, what can we do?
We interviewing y'all now. Y'all,
So
yeah.
y'all done took over as the
Yeah,
host.
yeah.
So we need to tell.
Go ahead and shake it.
So I'll start even just a nationwide resource. It's 211. That's the United Way. You can text 211 or call 211, and you will be connected with a resource navigator, and they will ask pretty much what you need resources with. And if we're going to just say for mental health sake, mental health, they will locate all of the local free mental health local mental health agencies here in your community. So for here in Greenwood, we got Beckman, which is through the Department of Mental Health. That's a free community mental health agency that will not turn you down if you do not have insurance or if you are underinsured. They also accept private insurance. But if I ain't got no money to pay, I can still go get services. You also have a black-owned private counseling service here, Gravity Counseling, Curvin, as well as Synergy Counseling by Miss Cece. And they have a lot of therapists there teaching different therapeutic techniques and skills to assist us with better managing our problems. You got a private practice in Abbeville that's ran by a black lady. Her name is April. You know, so even service in that community. You got telehealth. That's the good thing with COVID in a sense. You know what I mean? Because we were socially distanced, they have now created a platform to where I can provide services via telephone or even web chat. And there are great resources. Therapy for black girls, therapy for black men. Taraji P. Henson created a foundation in honor of her dad who struggled with PTSD as well as her own mental illnesses. And it's a resource line as well where she highlights not only Black therapists around the world or around the nation, but how to connect to those same therapists and just free resources as well. The last one, and then I'm going to let them talk. Dr. Rita Walker, she's a Black psychologist who wrote The Unapologetic Guide to Black Mental Health. She speak our language, you know what I mean? And I think somebody mentioned suicide by another man in a sense, meaning I may not directly say I want to die by suicide, but I may go out here and just tell you, do this, or I may engage in activities that put me at risk for losing my life. She highlights that. Suicide by another man. I may not directly want to kill myself, but I'll put myself in situations to where the likelihood of that happening, it can happen. And then I'm going to pass it on to them. But those are some good resources. Ain't even us.
What she said. But when you said that, that's the first thing I thought about was Dr. Rita Walker. She talked about how you can literally try to commit suicide by doing stuff. And when we talked about this last week. Yeah. When you talked about it last week, that came to my mind, and then you said it again today. So, we know these things, and actually, in all actuality, there are evidence. There are research that are out there that supports what we already kind of know. D, close us out.
Man, I just really want to take the time to really just give my gratitude and extend grace to you men for just opening yourselves up to be vulnerable in this space and entrusting us to be in your space. It's always a blessing when you can really learn and grow from people, and to really have such an open dialogue with no arguments, no debates, just real passion about the love of what we are, the love of who we are. And really this podcast and this session just really talked about the beauty of Blackness. You know what I'm saying? Even in the flaws, even in the imperfections, even in the gaps, the bridges that haven't been connected yet, there's still beauty in us. And so thank you. Thank you for just being you. Thank you for being open. And that's it.
It's dope.
I'm going to end with this. She had said earlier about that she brought up your importance in my life with me being a therapist. And she said, only you could have done it, right? And me and you joked around about, I got a daddy, I got a brother. But everybody has a role to play. And you had that role. I definitely got a father that I give mad shots out to. I got an older brother. But then there was Jerry who came in with his own perspective, his own thoughts, and challenged my thoughts. Challenged me to think, for myself amongst all of the information that I was processing at that time, and even after that, even going into relationships, going beyond relationships, and then going into fatherhood. So do something different than what we've been doing. But I want to give you a shout out and give you a hug too for what you've done for me.
Man. Appreciate it.
So, on that note, before I start crying up in here, I'm your host, or one of your hosts, Kervin. And check us out on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Speaking with Gravity. If we said something to make you think that you can use therapy, get in contact with us. Shoot me a DM. Get in contact with anybody you see here that you directly know, and then they can contact us. We'll keep it as simple as that. Thank you to Vision Winnie and Winston for recording this and putting it all together. He may edit it because we've been going on for a long time. We've been talking about everything. But just thank him for the effort that he's put into all of this. Thank you for whoever took the time to listen to the whole podcast, to look at it on YouTube or whatever platform you put it on. We put it on. Thank you for taking the time to listen. And remember, I'm a therapist, but this isn't therapy. It's just a podcast. It's just dialogue. Appreciate you.